Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. A very interesting article and very interesting statement. And I think it's a very accurate statement. And since Russia has a very high rating into the consistency department, I think it should be taken into consideration seriously. So, this article comes from Newsweek from today. I was about to say April. June 13th, 2022, and this is the title. Russia warns Europe would disappear if West gives nuclear weapons to Ukraine. Head of Russia's State Duma, Vyacheslav Volodin, Vyacheslav, I knew it didn't sound right. Vyacheslav Volodin has warned that if Western governments were to provide Kiev with nuclear weapons, a nuclear conflict could follow in the heart of Europe and it could disappear. No Western countries have suggested supplying Ukraine with nuclear weapons in the face of Russia's invasion, and nor has Kiev sought them. Western countries have shown reluctant to provide even some of the heavier conventional weapons that Ukraine is seeking. But former Polish foreign minister, Poland again, and Poland and the Baltic states, the biggest mouth. When was the last time Poland won a war? Alone. When was that? Anyway, but former Polish foreign minister Radoslaw Sikorski, who is now a member of the European Parliament, reportedly told Ukrainian online television channel Espresso TV. Ukrainian? This sounds like it Spanish. Espresso. That the West has the right to give Ukraine nuclear warheads to protect its independence, as shown in a video shared by Belarusian media outlet Nexta on Twitter. Sikorsky said Western countries would have this right because Russia had violated the Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurances of 1994. In that year, Ukraine agreed to give up all nuclear weapons left in the country after the fall of the Soviet Union and to join the Treaty of No Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. No proliferation of nuclear weapons. In December 1994, Kiev signed the Budapest Memorandum with Russia, the US, and the UK, in which the signatories pledged to respect the sovereignty, independence, and existing borders of Ukraine in exchange for the country's commitment to denuclearize. In an interview with Espresso TV, Sikorsky argued that Russia broke the terms of the deal by invading Ukraine. Newsweek has contacted Poland's Ministry of Foreign Affairs for comment on Sikorski's statement, which has not been officially supported by the Polish government. The Polish MEP's words reached Russia, where his declaration was met with scorn by Volodin, who leads one of the chambers of the Russian parliament. Well, the thing with the Budapest Memorandum. Okay, yes, we how do you call it? We respect that. Let's say we are the Russians. We respect that. That's fine, no problem. Here we go. But let's remember Yugoslavia. Why did NATO bomb illegally Yugoslavia? Because of, they said, genocide, right? And the Serbs were committing ethnic cleansing of the Albanians, who now they're Kosovarians. So then NATO reserved its right to stop that, to prevent the genocide against Albanian or Kosovarians, right? And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people still agree in the West with that decision. I mean, you should intervene if, genocide occurs. Did it occur? Okay, now let's go forward to 2022, February. Russians are claiming that their Ukrainian forces in eastern Ukraine were engaged in genocide against the Russian population in Ukraine. So therefore, after telling the Kiev government to take it easy and don't do that, because if they continue committing genocide, they will invade. So what nullifies what? So because of that, Budapest 1994, the Russians should have just allowed, let's say, genocide to occur in the eastern part of Ukraine. This is what the Russians claim. And those guys over there in the eastern Ukraine, they said, well, the Ukrainian military was committing genocide by killing us, the Russians in the eastern Ukraine, and they said that the figures go between 10 and 15,000 people killed in the genocide. Now, I'm not an idiot, and I realize that their interest, and I know that you can make you can use different terms for the same almost for the same incident. You just nuance it however you want. So, was it genocide in Ukraine? I don't know. They claim it was, so they intervened. So then they shouldn't have intervened. If the Western countries did not intervene to say, hey, Ukraine, stop doing this and that, the Russians would have not intervened. Now, we can also say that, hey, the Russians had an interest to get those guys out and annex them to Russia. Very possible. It's a possibility, a big one. And we can say also that it was no genocide over there, but actually those guys in the eastern Ukraine just, aggravated things and just pushed for it. So then they did everything in their power to create a situation where the Ukrainian military had to respond, and these guys are calling it genocide. Therefore, Russia was invited in. This could be a scenario. The other scenario could be that Ukraine government, according to the Russians, is illegitimate after the overthrow of a legitimate government, democratically elected government in 2014, with the help of foreign services. They engage in killing and infringing the rights of minorities. In this case, the Russians, with Russian stations, Russian-speaking radio stations and TV stations, or with school curriculum and so on. And these guys in the eastern Ukraine said, you know what? It was an overthrow over there. We don't recognize that government, and we will seek a kind of autonomy, because those guys are just killers. They just overthrew a democratic elected government. What are they? Why should they be recognized? And they were immediately recognized by the same guarantors, Great Britain and United States. So you see how things work. So I don't think that Russia violated 1994 in the context of genocide committed in eastern Ukraine, according to these guys. Now, the truth is always somewhere in the middle. But to be this certain with this guy saying that, former Polish, whatever he was, prime minister, whatever he was, foreign minister, and the other guys, yes, that's true. That's true. If this was to happen, which will not happen, I guarantee you there will be no nuclear weapons in Ukraine. And you know why? Because the big boss will not allow anybody else to have more nuclear weapons. Why would they? That's a very small club. So they will not have it. But this guy told this guy, well, if that's going to happen, we're going to take care of them. And I think since the high rating of, as I said, consistency in the Russian statements and actions, I would be careful doing that. But I have 99.9% the Ukraine will not have nuclear weapon. Not have. But regarding the Budapest memorandum, that Vajocik, Palocik, Bangolocik, the Polish guy, is just what do you expect? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.